Be happy, happy.
Happy. Be happy, Mommy. Be happy, Mommy.
Come on, keep your chin up. Enjoy this time.
Smile.
Smile, smile, my darling.
Honey, you have count your blessings.
Welcome to Creative Mamas Unplugged. We are your hosts. I'm Cherice Barton.
And I'm Shelly Hutchinson. Creative Mamas Unplugged is a podcast where we navigate the hell out of being a creative mom with humor and heart.
We will have honest conversations,
Hear wise words from fellow badass mamas,
and share hilarious stories around motherhood for some much-needed comic relief. Listen, motherhood is the most creative, most difficult job in the world. You are not alone, and you deserve to be happy.
Shameless plug before we get started. We're so excited to share a collaboration happening this summer. Cherice and myself are teaming up with the incredible Laurie Kanyok to present a one-of-a-kind week-long dance intensive designed for students ages 12 to 15. This isn't just any dance program. It's an opportunity for young artists to deepen their technical skills and push the limits of their creativity and experience a well-rounded training that includes dance, improv, acting, and singing, culminating in a final showcase for family, friends, choreographers, creative directors, casting and talent agents, and all happening in Lower Manhattan. This intensive is special, and if you are a parent or guardian of a dancer 12 to 15 years old, we would not want you to miss this special event right at the top of summer. Information can be found on our Instagram page. Make sure you're following us at Creative Mamas Unplugged. Welcome back, Creative Mama fans. We are here for part 2 with Laurie Kanyok. In this episode, Laurie opens up about the lessons learned from mistakes, how listening to yourself is the greatest gift, and how she believes creativity weaves through every aspect of life. Laurie shares her journey of balancing recovery from her hip surgery while fulfilling her role as a mom, director of her unique arts program in New York City, and as a leader in the arts community. Her unwavering passion is nothing short of inspiring. So join us as we dive into part 2 of our conversation with our dear friend, Laurie Kanyok.
I figured out a way to survive.
That is the ultimate moment of creativity because no one lays that out for you. And it is individual and it is like an individual life choice, right? But here we are back to this conversation around like we're artists and it's later in life and we've spent the last 40 years creating this life that we love in the arts and as dancers and as performers. And then all of a sudden, now we have another human to take care of who we would die for. And we would give all that up for to a point because we know that we will die inside if we give it up completely. So to figure out what that looks like, how to navigate that, and how you figured that out for yourself, that is the ultimate moment of creativity. I mean, I think there's so many factors to it that are not easy to dissect and work through. But here you are, and you've done it. And it's just so inspiring. And I think it lays out this idea of hope for a lot of women who are in the arts who are either younger than we were when we had kids or around the same age to say like, it's absolutely possible.
What advice would you give to artists, performers who are perhaps new moms and or considering being a mom, but are faced with the uncertainty of how to navigate their creativity, their future, while also being a mother?
That is such a tricky, multi-thoughtful answer that I need to give because it's just going to be daunting. Doesn't matter if you have an idea or not. It's daunting because as a female, when you are physically pregnant, and you both know this, it is the biggest excitement around the unknown or fear of the unknown. It's all of those things, right? And you don't know. You can plan till the cows come home. And if just might not, your baby might not sleep. Your baby might sleep 20 hours a day. Your baby might not latch on. Your baby, there's a gazillion things that are what ifs, right? I think that listening is the biggest gift and biggest sort of like most important thing you can do. Listening to yourself, listening to the things around you, literal society around you, and listening to once you have your child, what that feels like. Because watching some moms who have done this and gone right back to the stage, for example, on Broadway, that 6-day-a-week schedule, and they've managed it and been fine with it. That wasn't for me per se, for whatever reason. And then you're going to make mistakes. My own personal example, I went with Lakey to artist management. Did I fail? No, I listened. Wasn't for me. I forgave myself. I did this casting bit and could have maybe tried to make a bigger thing out of that. I listened and something else spoke to me.
I love that.
So I think listening and forgiving and knowing that, and I think this is so widely used, but if you don't fail, you can't succeed.
100%. In a society that is really uncomfortable with failure.
How many times as mothers have you apologized to your own kids? I know I have done it where I have said, whether it's I got a little too testy with her or I made a judgment call that wasn't wrong or I just wasn't simply there for her. And I've said, I'm sorry I did X, Y, or Z, or I'm sorry. And I promise I will try to do better or not do that again, whatever it is. Do that for yourself too.
Yeah. Teaching them accountability by acting accountable and being accountable. That's the best way.
And navigating, I'm thinking about because I'm sitting at my daughter's desk right now and I see all her crap here, right? She's got her COVID makeup, her Sol de Janeiro, Cherice, if you know anything about Sol de Janeiro. And then she's got her books, her school stuff, and her book pencil case and her calculator. And I'm talking to you guys, I'm looking around at all this and her songbook is right down there. And as I'm talking to you, I'm realizing this is her creativity station right here. And it encompasses her whole entire life. This one structure is making her who she is. And I think that's fair for all of us if we can just pay attention to that. That life is is to be creative, whether you work at Goldman Sachs or whatever you choose to do. It's all about creativity.
It is. I love that so much. And I love that idea of forgiving yourself and asking questions. I didn't learn that until later. I learned it, but I don't think I absorbed it or understood it to the extent that I do now. Because when, the kids were little, I thought, well, I'm just going to listen. I'm going to pay attention to, what is it that I want? What is it that I need? And I think I tried. However, it's only been in the past few years that I'm really able to listen and be curious. And that has to do with myself and giving myself self-forgiveness. Okay, maybe I didn't do that right. That's okay. What am I going to do today? How can I do that better? How am I feeling right now? What do I really want and not feel bad and not apologize for turning the spotlight a little bit more towards me. Because if I point the spotlight on me, it only makes me a better mom. And I think for a long time, I was pointing the spotlight everywhere else. And when I say spotlight, I just mean really like looking at me and what are my wants and my needs and taking care of that so that I am a happier person, so that I'm vibrating on a higher level, which makes everything and everyone around me happier, And so I love what you said. And I think it's really inspiring. And I think it's really important for, moms who are creatives to really understand that and be like, okay, Lakey had said that too. She said, don't apologize. And I think, we tend to apologize. And it's not selfish and it's good to check in and it's okay to make mistakes. No one is a perfect mother. There's a million, what is that saying? There's a million ways to be a good one. There's no way to be a perfect one, right? So all we can do
that doesn't exist. But I mean, you kill yourself trying if, you really do. Even this morning when she was getting ready, leaving for dance, and I couldn't take her because of my current situation, and she's just on her own, and I just struggled all morning with, why can't I help her? And does she need it? Is she okay? And all she was doing was rolling out her quads on the roller, and I was like, are you okay? Are you, she's like, Mom, I'm sore. But that's the beauty of motherhood, right? You're swimming in a different pool at that point. It's a pool for superheroes.
I love that.
Phenomenal. It's true. And you don't know it. You don't understand it really until you're in it. It's really one of those things.
Yeah. Because as mad, have you guys ever gotten really angry, like at everything around you, right? Where you're just like, she and I have this relationship because we are just the two of us where she sees a look on my face and she's like, I'm gonna go to my room. Go to my room, check back in on you. I'm like, thanks. I need a moment to breathe.
Yeah.
I bless you guys. You have multiples. I always say to my friends who have multiples, I'm like, that's a whole level of superhero.
It's both are equally as challenging. I've seen friends with one child, and there are certain challenges that I haven't had. Just the simple fact that, my kids would just play with each other. So, when they were little, so that was kind of like a built-in play date.
Can I tell you one great short story? Alex was 7 and I was talking to my therapist because Alex wanted a dog. And I said to my therapist, I think I'm going to get a dog. And this is pre-pandemic. And she looks at me and she goes, Laurie. She has a very mild-mannered, older than I am, mother in her own right. Laurie, I'm not sure this is the best idea for you and Alex. And I said, no, I can handle it. I'm going to get a really small dog and I'm going to put it in a bag and the dog's going to travel with me when I travel and it's going to go in the bag and the purse on the plane on my lap and the whole bit. And then we'll go to the studio and we'll do this. I got this. And she said, I don't think that you or Alex have the time to truly raise a puppy. And after the session was over, she had convinced me. So I get home, I go pick Alex up from school, and we're walking along the water to the apartment. And I was like, honey, I saw my feelings doctor today, and she suggests that maybe this isn't the right time for us to get a puppy. And she goes, okay, Mom. Just like that.
Wow.
But then in the pandemic, I decided when we were all in lockdown, like half of the rest of the people in the world did, now's a good time to get a dog because I'm grounded.
Yeah. Raise your hand if you got a dog during 2020. I mean, come on. It's like raise it. Yeah. Here.
All three of us.
And you're my man.
So now, Laura, what's the rest of how many more weeks do you have while you're home?
I don't know. I begged for physical therapy and outpatient therapy sooner than later. I won that battle. And so I'm going to start that next week. This whole surgery, every day, it's like a step up the ladder or like a half a step back. So it's a really delicate balance of doing too much, which is a great metaphor for life. If you do too much, then you're going to have to relax a bit. And that's what this is about. So when I have a good day, like if I wake up feeling strong, because I am who I am, I start to try to like run around, not run because I can't, but do too much. And then I pay for it the next day. So today, wanting really badly to go out, but I'm going to try my best not to and just stay home and do my exercises and maybe make some beans and greens and
Beautiful.
read. Well, the fun fact is this ballet thing that I mentioned earlier is potentially going back up. So another reason for me doing this now, well, A, I was in so much pain, but B, I want to get back on the stage.
Oh, I love that. Oh, you're doing it.
That is so inspiring. You're such a badass. I love
52. I have all these things, Quincy Jones passed a few days ago, the day before Election Day, right? And that affected me because I just think he's the bee's knees.
He's pretty incredible. I mean,
really, so I spent the day listening to his music, and I was crippled. I'm laid up, and I was like dreaming choreography. I was dreaming things, and Alex came home from school, and I had this one song blasting, and I'm laying on my couch with my compression ice machine on my hip, and she comes in, she goes, Mom, you can hear this at the elevator, and I was like, I don't care. I'm celebrating Quincy's life. I was like, and I'm going to do a combo to this when I get back to the studio. Come on, you guys have been there,
Oh, well, absolutely.
And that's how I got through the day. And the next day after that, and the next day after that, because we know what those days were. So.
Yeah. But you're inspired by his existence and his life well into what was he, 90, right?
91.
Yeah.
He was 91. That's what she asked me too. And it's a celebration of life for sure. I mean, do I wish he was still around? Yeah, of course, because I feel like I would like to see the world go back a little bit to that way of making art. There was such attention to detail and such commitment to integrity that I try to teach to my kids. And it's hard. They're teenagers, and it's like I would imagine in the 70s and all the decades, all the eras. Yeah, but we try. That's why we're teachers, right? We're trying to pass along ideas that will help them in their future. So,
I mean, your program reflects, reflects those principles that you believe in. And listen, I mean, when I first moved to New York in the 90s, you were one of my first teachers that I took. And I remember looking at you and going like, I want to follow her, because you always came in with like, that's an excuse. I loved how you would always hold people accountable for their attitudes. Like, you expected integrity and quality. Your program reflects that. All the kids that come out of your program and all the kids that are in it, I mean, they're just,
thank you.
they love that, but that is a direct reflection of you.
You guys, I'm sure you experience this. Like, all my faculty, they're all like colleagues of mine. And I constantly say to them, we are here in our little bubble, in our intimate little program. It's, believe me, if there's anybody listening to this that wants to fund a private little arts program, I am here and open to it, because we are lucky to be so tiny that we can still be real. Word on the street is that when you're in an bigger, larger institution, you lose some of that ability. That makes me sad, because at the end of the day, the only people that are losing out are the students. So in my one room, Shelly, you've been in that one room, we have policies for sure. And we have kindness acts, and there is a zero tolerance for any kind of meanness or disrespect. That's across the board. And I'm not going to lie to you and tell you that you're going to be something if you're not displaying the qualities that it takes to become that something. And it's all about achieving your goals or climbing your own personal ladder, whatever that looks like. Because you don't have to be like me, and you don't have to be like Ben Bowman, you don't have to be Karine Plantadie, but whatever it is you think you might want to be, we're going to help you get to that place for yourself.
I wish my daughter could be at your studio. I really do.
If I had a penny for every time somebody said that to me, Cherice, I could fund the program. And I appreciate hearing that. I really do. And it's one of those things where even we say if we had something like that when we were younger.
That's it.
And I just so the business side of it for me, to the nut to crack, is how to get people to care about it, because there's no way to do it like you're doing it without it costing money. And the kids are super successful. They're getting into great schools. They're very happy. I have kids working clearly. You know, I have a boy with Parsons Dance right now who said to me, like, after he got the job, he was like, I just can't even believe my life is here right now where it is. Like, he's so happy, and I'm so happy for him. And he loves, it's like that's what like makes me, those are Alex's siblings. Like, all those kids are my daughter's siblings. Like, right. She knows them. They babysit her. She follows them. She's inspired by them.
Here you have created this program out of your first love. And, they always say, be the person that you wish you had when you were younger. You're being that lineage, if you will, of like, it's phenomenal.
Thank you. I'm super proud of it. This is how giddy I get when I have to talk about them. It's so awesome. Like, the mom, I'm just a mom.
Creative Mamas Unplugged is produced by Breatheasy Productions with music by Jeremy Jurin. If you enjoyed this episode, please don't forget to give my mama 5 stars and keep coming back. Thanks to us kids, there are plenty of stories to tell. And you are not alone. Bye for now.